You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly show for video games, movies, TV shows, comics, tech news, and more. Now your hosts, Cody Pennick, Samantha Cross, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show that knows there's always money in the banana stand. I'm Cody.
I'm Sam, and there's no time for my illusions.
I'm Josh. Here's $1. Go see a Star Wars.
Oh, we have a great show for you this week. Thank you all for tuning in. We have a bunch of news to go over, but first, let's talk about some things we have been checking out.
Check it out!
Come on, Cranky. Take it to the fridge.
The classic.
It is
Go
classic.
back. It's been a few weeks. All right, so check them out. I have really only done one thing this week. I got a chance to play some of the Hyrule Warriors.
Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah. No, the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. It is both a prequel and a sequel of sorts to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Switch. The game came out, I don't want to say, what, about a year ago or so, 6 months, a year, something like that?
I don't know, I think you're over.
Am I over a little bit?
You're overshooting it.
I mean,
Gotcha.
it's the second Hyrule Warriors
Yeah.
game.
Okay.
Three
yeah.
or 4 months, maybe?
Really? Okay, it's been okay. But yeah, anyway, I got a chance to pick it up now. I'm going to preface this by saying this type of game is typically not my style. The Warriors style, where you're basically just running around and pressing the Y button and sometimes X, and then large mobs of basically faceless, nameless grunts fall over until everyone is gone. It's very simplistic, and it's usually not my bag. Baby.
Also, yeah, repetitive.
It's incredibly repetitive.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the entire series is that way.
Yes. But I will say that I am enjoying this game in spite of itself.
Yeah.
The game, yeah. So the gameplay are all those things that I dislike about it. It's repetitive. It's grindy. Like, it's just kind of the same thing
It's
over
like
and over again. And it's
mash one button.
Mash one button sometime and then press another one to do a special attack every now and then. And that's it. However, where this game shines is the story that it tells in between the boring fight scenes. Like I mentioned when I was prefacing this, it is both a prequel and a sequel to Breath of the Wild. So the game starts during the ending of Breath of the Wild, where one of the little robot guardian guys travels back in time 100 years to the previous Calamity to try to stop Ganon from taking over 100 years prior. So it is close to, but not exactly what happened in the flashback scenes of Breath of the Wild, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's an alternate timeline to the true timeline, I guess, but
right,
it's still similar enough.
It's similar enough that it can still fit, and if they were to add this little guardian egg buddy to Breath of the Wild 2, it would make sense. They would just go, okay, well, all right, he was just kind of there. Fine.
He was there the whole time.
Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. He was just there. Wink. But the story itself is really interesting. It's interesting to see these characters that we only had snippets of in Breath of the Wild. You see them interacting more, and you get to see kind of the interplay between, different characters. Some of them get along with each other just fine. Some of them really don't. And it's not like how it was presented in Breath of the Wild, where the team of 4 champions for one of each of the main races from Hyrule all banded together to try to stop the bad guy. No, there was like a lot of inner strife between them. Rivali, Rito, he sucks. That Birdman
so
sucks.
bad.
I mean,
he's the worst character.
He did really project some really Falco level.
He's a bigger
it's even
jerk.
worse.
He's a bigger jerk than Falco even.
It is even worse. Yeah.
And for people who may not know who Falco is the blue bird from Star Fox.
Right.
Who is not a falcon. He is a pheasant.
True. But yeah, I will say that I'm gonna continue playing the game. It's good to pick up and play for maybe 20 minutes or a half hour and then put back down. Like you do one major mission and a handful of, little pickups here and there and then be done with it.
I think the major missions way outstay their welcome. They take way too long.
Oh, absolutely.
The main story ones do. The other ones are fine.
Oh, because there's usually like a 5-minute time limit on them, and
Yeah.
they're like, okay, just walk into this room and knock out like 400 guys in 5 minutes. Go, and that's fine. But also, I like that Link gets the Master Sword relatively early on in the game, because some games seem to kind of save that for like the last thing, and no, you want to have Link with this cool sword slashing around and doing stuff.
That's his whole bag is Link with cool sword.
Especially when there's like this whole system to power up the weapons. It's like, well, I want to power up the Master Sword.
Of course you do.
It's the best one.
It is the sword that seals darkness.
Yeah, I do also like that some of the non-essential characters that you get to play as. I don't like the way he plays, but it's interesting that you get to play as Hetsu, the giant broccoli man.
And Christina V's voice acting for Hetsu is hilarious.
It really is. Yeah, yeah, it's great. She was Shantae. In Shantae,
okay.
Or
Ladybug
in Miraculous Ladybug.
Okay. I've still never watched Ladybug.
It's super good.
It's for little girls, though.
It is, but it's also very good. I would say it is, if you like Spider-Man and Sailor Moon and are cool with how the show is definitely for a younger audience, then you've got it. That's what it is. And it works really well. I liked it a lot when I watched it. But have you gotten any, Cody, how far are you in it, Calamity?
Oh, it's been so long since I've played it. I got pretty far into it before I fell out.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I guess there are a handful of like hidden characters or something you can get down the line. That Monk from one of the DLCs from Breath of the Wild is a playable character, and one of his special attacks is he grows humongous and just starts stomping around.
Nice.
And that's kind of cool.
Do you get the science couple? Are they playable?
They're not playable, but they are heavily rumored to be the first round of DLC.
They really seem like they were going to be,
Yeah.
and their younger designs are fantastic.
Oh, they're very good.
Very cool.
Yeah, the younger designs for Impa as well is really good.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. She is way overpowered though. Like she can make like 6 or 7 copies of herself.
Yeah.
And
that's
just run around.
That's a classic kind of ninja trope.
Yeah, but it just makes her so overpowered. All right, otherwise, that is pretty much all I've been checking out. I thought very heavily about checking out Justice League, but then, nah.
One of us will get there eventually.
One of us, yeah, it's a race to the finish. Whoever finishes at last wins.
It's like running on Legos. It's a race no one wants to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard it's fine.
Same here. I've heard it's about 75% of a good movie.
I mean, it could be, but like 4 hours for fine.
4 hours for fine in a 4:3 aspect ratio. I still... That decision is another one of those things that I think is a Zack Snyder...
I don't understand it. That's not a movie's aspect ratio.
It's the full height and width of an IMAX film frame.
Oh.
So he was using the whole buffalo with the IMAX.
So it's meant to be viewed on an IMAX.
Yes, but I think that's a gimmick because from what I understand, the majority of the time, characters have large, big open areas on the top and bottom of the screen where it should have been like formatted down to 11:9 or 16:9 widescreen format. Yeah.
It seems so insane to me that now that everybody has a 16:9 widescreen screen in their house to not use it.
Yeah. It's
for a modern movie.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten reports of people with high-end televisions getting irreparable damage to their television because OLED screens, if you let them sit with like prolonged times with like black screens on something, it will cause burn-in and it will ruin your TV.
And also the movie's 4 hours long. So that's like, burn-in time.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
One friend of mine said I should watch it in 2 sittings.
Well, I mean, they do put an intermission in there about halfway through.
Oh, okay.
I hope it plays the music from Holy Grail during the intermission of that.
No, because that would be fun. And Zack Snyder is devoid of fun.
Oh no, it would be about an octave and a half lower and slowed down about 30%.
You sound like you're drunk.
with some added.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so things I've checked out. Speaking of Sailor Moon,
Yes,
we went back into that well a little bit.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, because we took a big break from it for a while, and
Sure.
I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Oh wait, never mind. I know what's going on now. With the stupid Pegasus winged horse.
Oh, that's a
unicorn.
bad horse.
I hate this season.
That's a bad horse.
They can't all be Swiftwind.
Yeah.
Loop-de-loop Sadora. But no, I haven't gotten to the big reveal of Pegasus yet. He comes off as weird and creepy. I hate Chibi Moon. I hate her so much. I'm tired of her.
That's okay. This is the last season with her.
Little future baby needs to go home.
And then you get Chibi.
I feel like we've had this same conversation
We have.
Probably
3 times.
Probably every time I bring it up.
Yep.
But yeah, when that watched some weird Adult Swim show called YOLO: The Crystal Chronicles or something like that. And
Okay.
it's-
That was oh wait, no, I'm thinking. Never mind. I was thinking of something else.
But it looks like it was made by the same people who did that Australian Rick and Morty short.
It was.
Oh, okay. I figured. But it also seemed like it shared the same voice acting from a YouTube series I used to watch from a guy called Greasy something. I can't remember. Basically, if every Australian YouTuber sounds the same to me, I guess. But
Oh, we're canceled.
but no, it's weird. It's really weird. It's the adventures of this girl Rachel and this girl Sarah. They're like party girls, but then everything is super blown out of like mega proportions. Like the first episode, they run into a girl they went to high school with, but she's on some type of giant Lord of the Ringsian hell tower, sitting on a throne and like have an army of demons around her or something.
Oh, that is weird.
It's every episode is something goofy like that.
It's like heightened reality. Like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm guessing. I haven't actually watched it, but I've seen clips and stuff.
I laughed. There were some good goofs in there, and just listening to Australian people be Australian. What else did I watch?
Josh's opinion on Australians is not reflective of Nerd Overload as a whole.
I don't hate Australians. I don't.
Added to the lore book. Josh hates Australians.
Update the wiki.
Yep.
I'd visit the country if
We were
I see. Rolling it back. I see.
No, I was going to say if 90% of the world's deadliest animals.
Now you're
going to
say that you love the Weta. Wait, no, that's
New Zealand.
That's New Zealand. Kangaroos.
I do like kangaroos.
We're gonna have to go there on an
Unlikely
apology
story.
tour. It's gonna end up like that Simpsons where they
the boot.
they're gonna have to give Josh the boot. And you're gonna have to write "Don't tread on me" on your own butt.
Oh man, and get chased to the U.S. consulate.
The giant machine attached to the toilet that made it spin
The other way.
flush the our direction.
Just so everyone else knows, this is a Simpsons reference.
This is all Simpsons. Yeah, Simpsons did it.
Everybody knows that Simpsons episode. That's
Yeah.
like
I would hope.
high tier classic.
Shoot, what else did I watch?
Did you watch the Falcon Winter Soldier?
No.
Okay, yeah, I haven't had a chance to get to it yet.
And
I
Godzilla
did.
came out today.
Oh, it did.
Oh
Yeah.
crap! Really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Monkey Fight is today.
Oh, I still need to watch the previous Godzilla.
It's good.
It's very good.
And there's an after credit scene.
Yeah.
I did watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, and here's the review. It was fine.
I figured.
Yeah, WandaVision's going to be very hard to follow up.
And it's nothing like. Don't expect WandaVision at all. This is like a Marvel movie.
This is like capital M Marvel movie.
yeah,
Gotcha. Okay. And that's fine.
yeah, and that's what I say. It's fine.
Yeah.
I want to know what, I mean, it leaves on a big cliffhanger that makes you go, whoa, you know, but.
Because Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's just not like, it's not WandaVision.
Yeah.
And and it wasn't going to be. You know?
Like,
Sure.
WandaVision was like a really good cheesecake. Like, oh man, this is so good. You know, I could never find a cheesecake better than this. I feel like in comparison, anything else is probably going to be like, I like cheesecake. This is not bad. But it's not this cheesecake.
I was going to say Falcon and Winter Soldier is a pack of Oreos.
It's a birthday cake.
It's delicious. You could do better, but, you know, you're still going to eat them.
It's still enjoyable.
It's a sheet cake for somebody's birthday at work. Like,
yeah.
You're glad it's there, and it's you know, a brighter spot in your day, but, like, still it's a cake you got to eat at work.
Right, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, I watched apparently Paradise PD got a new season, and I watched that train wreck.
Oh, you don't have to watch that.
Yeah,
I don't know
you
why.
don't.
I don't know why I keep getting roped into it. I mean, it's gross and raunchy, but for some reason I don't know. There are sometimes I just laugh really hard, and other times I'm just like, ugh. I don't know if it's just like a part of my brain that just wants to hear Tom Kenny say really awful things. I don't know.
I didn't know he was on that.
Yeah, he's the police chief.
Oh,
But yeah, what do you mean you didn't know? Tom Kenny's like in everything.
true.
Tom Kenny's like the Kevin Bacon of voice acting.
Let's see. I had a couple things, and now I'm not remembering what they were.
Was one of them going to be Winter Soldier
No,
or
because
Falcon?
we can't really get into it.
Okay.
That deep. The new Crash Bandicoot mobile game came out today, and I played that a bunch.
Yeah. I saw that there was an ad for it on the Apple Store, but I haven't like downloaded it or anything. Is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, Crash Bandicoot fits into the infinite. It's an infinite runner, like Temple Run, where you're, behind the back. Crash Bandicoot fits into that mold pretty well because that's more or less what he did before.
Yeah,
if they could do it with Minions, they could do it with Crash.
But now you can't stop, and it has both like endless runner levels, and it also has like bespoke design levels both. The way it works is there's a boss monster you gotta fight and his 4 cronies or whatever, but the way you fight them is you have to have certain items that you've collected in the infinite runner areas so you can make the potion to beat the boss.
interesting. Okay.
So once you have enough of the garbage collected, you can do the bespoke level with the boss at the end.
Gotcha.
So that's how they've monetized it.
Well, no, that's interesting. I mean, that's an interesting kind of way of going about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to do it, and they do, because people have made it known that they won't pay money for games on phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you got to do it, that's one way.
That's going to change when the... oh, wait, no, never mind. I was about to say that's going to change when the Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis comes out. But no, that is also a microtransaction game. Did you hear about that?
No, how does that work?
It is... so you pay for the various chapters, and you can... Once you pay for the chapters, you can play through it however you want, but there is a gacha system for different unique costumes and weapons. So random, so if you want your Advent Children costume Cloud
with the nail bat,
yeah, or like if you want the what's his name, the party dress Tifa, whatever, you know what I'm talking about.
I wanted to say Don Corleone, but that's
Don Corneo.
Don Corneo, yeah.
Yeah, if you want that early, then you have to pay to randomly roll to see if you get it.
I'd rather have the Dawn Cloud and Drag.
There we go.
That beautiful, beautiful cloud.
Is that part in the remake?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's really well done. It's fantastic.
I
I picked the wrong outfit for Tifa though. I picked like the most boring one.
Oh yeah.
Which is a shame.
You didn't want her to, outshine Cloud.
What was the other thing I said? I think. Well, I played The Sims 4 today.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. It's on Game Pass now, and it was free to do, so I did it, even though I already own it.
Yeah.
But it was there, and it was easier to get to than usual, so I did. It's still pretty good. It's The Sims, but I gave my sim the gloomy trait, which is something I hadn't done before, and it's depression, and it is startlingly accurate in its portrayal. Like, your sim will just be doing something, and out of the blue, like, they're sad. Just immediately, and because of the way there's like an emotion system in The Sims.
Yeah.
Where their mood affects how well things affect them. So you'll be doing something, all of a sudden, oh, sad. Now it's hard to do anything because you're sad.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, that is very true to life.
Yeah,
that is...
It just comes out of nowhere. So I'm sitting there at my computer looking at my sim on the computer, and it just ticks over to sad, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, wow. Oh, this is too close to home. And I'm trying to get him to do stuff, and all of a sudden the bed icon shows up. It's like, what are you doing? It says, cry it out. It's like, oh, he's going to bed to cry.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
He did self-publish 3 books in a couple of weeks, and then he electrocuted himself and died while trying to fix the computer. It was like the shortest game of Sims I'd ever played.
Wow.
Not on purpose.
Like, the one nice thing I bought him was a nice computer, and people kept coming to my house and using it.
Using it? What were they, like, gaming? Were they playing Stack 'em Bricks or something?
Yeah, they were playing the brick stacking game. My neighbors would come over, say hi, talk for a few minutes, and then walk into my bedroom and use my computer to play the Stacking Bricks game.
Oh, man.
And then the computer broke, probably because the neighbors were using it too much.
Too many Stack 'em Bricks. Yeah. Oh, wow.
And it was eventually his
demise.
His demise.
Yep.
His downfall. I heard there's a way to, like, woo the Grim Reaper.
I think they patched it out.
Oh.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even let me talk to the Grim Reaper because I'm like, can I plead my case here? I just started.
It's like when David Tennant's reign on Doctor Who ended. I don't want to go.
Oh, I did watch a movie called Pieces from the 70s. It's like a slasher mystery.
Oh, yeah. Is that the one where the tagline is like, it's exactly what you think?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a slasher movie where, like, somebody keeps killing women and taking parts of them to build a
superior woman.
Yeah.
So it's Frankenhooker?
Yeah, it is. Except,
I'm not calling the person that is a movie.
Yeah,
that's the name of a movie.
The name of a film.
Yes,
But
Frank Henenlotter, classic.
It is that, but it takes itself more seriously.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a decent mystery. Like, they keep you guessing, and they give you, like, red herrings and stuff throughout the movie while you're trying to figure out who is this murderer who keeps managing to sneak up on people with a chainsaw somehow.
Wow. He must have put a silencer on his chainsaw.
Yeah. But, if you're squeamish, don't.
Oh, gotcha.
Absolutely don't, because it's gross. But it was on Shudder, and it's not bad.
One of those gory messes.
Yeah, if you're into that sort of thing, and I like my gory horror movies.
All right, well, hey, let's go ahead and take a break here, and when we come back, we'll get into some news.
Hey, we're back. That was Another Winter by Anamanaguchi from the Scott Pilgrim the Game soundtrack. A classic banger from a good game with a great soundtrack.
I think the soundtrack is like the best part of that game.
Probably, yeah.
It's
Plus,
really,
it's
really
like
good.
really solid beat 'em up mechanics.
Oh yeah, yep. All right, so hey, let's go ahead and get into some news.
What do we have here? The building blocks of sushi. Sushi meat, peaches, and guacamole.
Guacamole.
All right, so we just played the Scott Pilgrim song, so let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit.
It's coming back to theaters, apparently, for its belated 10th anniversary.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the 10th anniversary already happened sometime last year, I think.
Yeah, well,
deep into COVID.
Last year hardly existed, so
last year don't count.
Yeah, they get them all again. It's all good. It's all good.
They did a Zoom live read of the script with a lot of the original actors.
I remember that. Yeah,
I didn't actually watch it, but it sounded cool. I think I had just rewatched the movie on Netflix and was like, that wasn't as good as I remembered.
I still like it.
Yeah, it's still a good movie. I just remembered it being a lot better than...
I remember going and seeing that at a midnight show with you guys, you and Samantha. We drove down to the rave.
Yeah, we saw it on premiere.
A premiere night. Yeah.
I was stoked for it.
Was that the night that we were spinning through the radio and it got to like that weird political pundit show and it was just a guy screaming America?
Yeah, I think so.
Super, super loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
America.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's cool that they're bringing it back to theaters. I mean, theaters got to do something.
Yeah. It's a good cult classic that, is fun to see in the theater.
Is it? It's still considered cult classic, or would you say that it is rolled into actual like good classic film?
I think
it's like right on the line. Whatever.
Yeah, I think it gets the cult classic based on the fact that it was critically panned when it was released.
Oh, that's true. I guess that makes sense.
I mean, it was at the height of like the popularity of Michael Cera.
I don't know. I think he was on his way out when the movie came out.
The height of his popularity was Arrested Development, I think.
Superbad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Superbad.
And it was post Superbad.
Yeah.
I remember people complaining about him being casted as Scott, and they're not entirely wrong if you go by comic Scott.
I mean, I never read the comic. I always meant to. I've never read them.
It's good, but Scott's kind of a blowhard idiot.
Oh, okay.
And that's not Michael Cera.
That's not Michael Cera.
Modus operandi.
That's almost a Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
He could be, just because of the way his portrayal of Lex Luthor in the Justice League movies and whatnot. He can be that blowhard. He would have like the happy medium between a Michael Cera and like, I guess, an anti Michael Cera. Who would be the anti Michael Cera? Like, who is Bizarro Michael Cera? Is it Jonah Hill?
Maybe. I don't know. But
I don't know.
Comic Scott's kind of a jerk in the way that like he's not meaning to be a jerk, but he doesn't have the emotional intelligence to not
be a jerk.
Okay,
he needs to grow up, which is what it's about.
Right.
Scott has learned self-acceptance.
Yeah. I think that Michael Cera's too sad. He's more of a sad sack Charlie Brown type character.
He is a little bit of Charlie Brownish. That's true.
He is pretty almost deadpan in like everything he does.
Because that's his personality.
Well, yeah. I mean,
he was playing against type in Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking about like all the movies I've seen that he's done, like Juno and that stupid Year One movie.
Oh, that was horrible. I saw that in theaters.
So did I, and I hate that movie.
That was such a waste.
He might have been the worst part of Gino.
I could see that.
I think I like that movie. I think that's a great movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great movie. I love that movie. Plus, it's got, J.K. Simmons in it. Yeah. And how can you not love anything J.K. Simmons does?
Mm-hmm. I think just like he didn't do it any favors.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so let's move on to some other stuff. We have a whole list. We actually have quite a few from previous weeks. The last couple of weeks, we've been pretty rambly and have only been hitting a couple. So we're gonna kind of rattle through a couple of these. What do we want to talk about next?
Sony bought EVO. That's kind of a big thing.
That's a big deal with an asterisk. I'm curious to see. Okay, so EVO is the Evolution Fighting tournament championship. It's out in Las Vegas. It happens almost every year. This past year, it was a digital
not last
only.
Year. Well, it was digital last year.
Yeah, I don't think it happened at all last year because right after they announced that they're going all digital, didn't a lot of the it wasn't revealed that some of the higher ups of EVO turned out to be kind of like secret scumbags.
Oh yeah,
and it just ended up not happening. Well, Yeah, so Sony has bought and is going to be co-running EVO with another outside company. And people started freaking out, of course, going, "Oh no, it's going to be a Sony only show." So you're never going to see any other fighting games that's not native to the Sony.
No Smash Bros.
Yeah, we can't play Smash Brothers. We have to play PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
I have heard that joke so many times.
Yeah, I had to get it. I had to get it in.
No, that's good. but no. The honest truth is, I don't see this making as big of an impact. Simply because any game that is where it is possible to run on a Sony system. In the past, it has been a Sony heavy game tournament anyway. It's
so
basically
your Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, basically, unless you absolutely have to play it, if it's like PC only or Smash Brothers on Switch or what have you, it has been played on Sony PlayStation hardware.
Even if it is Smash Brothers, they'll try to emulate it.
Right? Yeah, right. But yeah, I don't really see this being as big of an issue. If anything, the only problem I can see popping up is Sony pushing to make fighting games more of an esport along the lines of Dota or League of Legends or something like that. And as much as I don't want like the cringy
sensationalism,
but like the cringy kind of community that surrounds those types of esports, fighting games could use some popularity again.
It's the logical endpoint to.
Yeah, they could definitely use a little help, especially because fighting games are kind of at their lowest. I mean, okay, maybe not the lowest point, but they're definitely not where they have been and not where they probably should be.
I mean, I remember when I was younger, you were just tripping over fighting games. It was
Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat were really kind of paved the way for a lot of copycats and a lot of
those were really bad. There's a lot of really bad fighting games.
Best of Best is my favorite bad. It was a DOS only game. And it was so bad.
Tattoo Assassins.
Oh man, Tattoo Assassins was horrible. Although that had like over 4,000 fatalities in that game, though.
Never actually released, but I have played it on a cabinet. Galloping Ghost.
Yeah.
Battle Arena Toshinden.
Oh no,
that wasn't bad for the time.
We don't talk about Toshinden in this house.
Bloody Roar. I played a lot of Bloody Roar.
Bloody Roar's a good one. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's a good one. I mean, all of the SNK games. I actually really liked a game called Warzard. Have you ever played Warzard?
No.
That sounds really familiar.
So it's weird in that the versus mode only has 4 playable characters, and they have very, very, very limited move sets. I think they all have like maybe one special move. However, in the 1-player adventure mode, it turns it into a fighting game RPG where you go through and fight at least a dozen to 2 dozen different boss fights of characters that are not available. And as you play through the game, your character levels up and you get more special abilities, and to the point where you get to the final boss and you basically have like a full arsenal of like specials and
that's cool.
Combos and stuff like that. There's in Capcom Fighting Evolution or something like that, one of the Fighting All-Stars, one of the like basically like Marvel versus Capcom, but with just Capcom characters. There was a lion guy with a giant sword, Leozard or something like that. That's where he's from. And,
is it a Capcom thing or
it's a Capcom?
Okay,
it's Capcom. And what's the other one? There's some of the Pocket Fighters, with the weird super deformed style. Yeah. There's like a witch character that no one knows where she comes from.
Ruby Heart?
No, not Ruby Heart, but it's
Ruby Heart's a pirate.
She's a pirate, yeah. I cannot think of the character's name, but she is one of the 4 playable characters from Warzard. Yeah. So really, really fun game, really enjoyable, but hardly anyone's played it. Fighting games, the point is fighting games should be higher up in the collective conscience of tournament fighters, tournaments and fighting games and stuff like that.
I'd wish they'd make a new Darkstalkers.
Everybody wishes they would make a new Darkstalker. I was really hoping. I was really hoping at the very least to get a crossover character into Street Fighter V. At the absolute least, at most, get a new game. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, unfortunately.
Have they ever released a modern like remaster or like a re-release of it?
Yes, but I can't tell you how long it's been. I think it's been like maybe 5 or 6 years since they've done their last remaster of it.
There was a Vita, or was it PSP?
There was a PSP.
There was a PSP remaster.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Street Fighter V, did not hit quite as hard as
4
people were hoping it would. Yeah, 4 for sure.
Fighting games were pretty much dead until 4 kind of brought back that resurgence a little bit.
And then Street Fighter Cross Tekken Gem Battler pretty much killed it again.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember the whole controversy with the on-disc DLC?
Yeah.
Where it had, like, on the production disc, it actually had items and stuff locked off that you could not access until you had to pay for it later. Like on-disc DLC.
Yeah, so the only thing you were buying with the DLC was a key to unlock it.
And it was like Blanca. It was like actual like good characters and stuff, and then you couldn't access them. It was ridiculous.
Which really sucks because Blanca was one of my go-tos. Mostly because that lightning move was cheap.
Oh sure, no, that has actually spurred an online idiom when you play other people in Street Fighter. Don't look at Blanca players. Don't talk to them.
It's like it's like people who pick Odd Job and Golden.
Don't acknowledge them. Don't look them in the eye. Yeah.
No, people who pick Odd Job and GoldenEye, those people are called cheaters.
That's true. So there's some casting news for the new Black Adam movie, the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Old Rocky Johnson Jr. So this is a DC movie. I'm not sure if it's a spin-off of the Shazam movie or if it's being treated as its own separate thing. I really don't know.
Maybe it's a pseudo prequel
But it's set in modern day.
Oh.
Yeah. And they're treating Black Adam, who is traditionally a villain
as an
for
hero.
Shazam, as an anti-hero.
Yeah.
But the casting for this is pretty interesting. They've cast Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, the Doctor Strange of the DC Comics universe.
With a helmet that possesses you.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting casting.
Yeah, it is. I'm interested to see what they do with the character. I mean, Dr. Fate traditionally does not have much of a personality.
Nope. Outside the helmet.
And even with the helmet on, his personality is, I am mystical. Don't worry about what I'm doing. It's for the greater good.
Ignore me.
Yeah, ignore me. Yeah.
It's a similar helmet to that guy.
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with this cast with Pierce Brosnan in the movie. I mean, it's going to be 90% him doing voiceover.
Yeah.
I don't think they're physically going to put him in a costume.
God, I think the last movie I saw with Pierce Brosnan in it was Mamma Mia.
He was in that Eurovision movie. With,
I still haven't seen that.
Oh, you need to. It's actually really, really good. I enjoyed that one quite a bit, but no, they've actually cast some other folks. I don't have the list of them in front of me, but they've cast someone as Hawkman and a couple other like B tier Justice Society member characters.
Pulling in some more of those more mystical heroes.
Yeah. It's like DC's mystical side of things. So and along with that, they've actually started casting for the Shazam sequel, which I guess they're also doing a Shazam sequel. Helen Mirren is going to be playing one of the major antagonists in it. So awesome.
Oh yeah, wasn't she supposed to be Hecate or something
like that? Yeah, like another one of
a Greek goddess.
Goddesses, that gives them the power or whatever.
You know, I think the last time I remember seeing like Dr. Fate even remotely referenced in a live action thing was in that Constantine TV show where you see the helmet sitting on a shelf.
Oh yeah, just sitting there.
And Constantine says, "Hey, don't touch that; it'll take you over," or whatever.
Yeah. The helmet was somewhere in Stargirl. as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because that one dealt very heavily with Justice Society
I feel like
characters.
it was a major plot point in Young Justice as well.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, but Young Justice isn't live action.
Well, yeah.
But still, I mean, Young Justice is very good, though.
Oh, yeah.
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 I still haven't watched the revival season of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so long. I'm not sure I remember half the stuff that happened in Young Justice.
I watched a couple episodes when it was part of that. Was it DC?
Universe Online.
No, it was part of. There was a Cartoon Network block of DC.
Oh, yeah.
shows.
Yeah, I remember
It
that.
was a really good idea that they just squandered.
Well,
Yeah, because you had the Green Lantern cartoon.
which was better than it should have been.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely good.
It's down. The Green Lantern show downside is that as much as I like Bruce Timm's art style, it does not translate into the third dimension very well.
No.
The upside down triangle with spindly legs art style does not look good in
No.
3D.
Well, and it just made everybody look like toys.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
But that was part of the reason why they canceled it, because people weren't buying Green Lantern TV show toys.
Yeah.
Well, also because it came out relatively close to the Green Lantern movie, and the Green Lanterns are now off limits forever.
Except one does show up in Justice League.
Kinda.
In the opening.
In the opening.
It kind of gave me some brief hope, because I love the character. I really do. Mm-hmm. I love the whole Lantern mythos.
I like the animated shorts they would do on that block too. Between
Oh,
shows.
yeah.
There's like some really good Plastic Man ones.
Oh, yeah.
The Super Best Friends Forever,
Yeah.
which is now just proto DC superhero girls.
Kind
show.
of, yeah. Was there an Animal Man short where he like gained the power of a bloodhound and started sniffing the ground like a dog or something like that?
Yeah.
There's like,
And Weird Al voiced Animal Man.
yes, that's it. Yep.
It was a
And,
fun block of shows.
it really
It
was.
a good idea. But
Yeah. Do you remember Justice League Action?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
it was a very good show.
Yeah.
With Wonder Woman's cool hair.
Yeah.
My favorite episode of that, because they were only like 15-minute chunks,
Yeah.
right? Like 5 or 10. I think they were 10 minutes, 10 or 12. Anyway, it was an episode where every character was voiced by Mark Hamill. It was the Trickster and the Joker have kidnapped Mark Hamill,
Yeah.
and Swamp Thing, who was
Yeah.
also voiced by Mark Hamill, came to rescue them.
I remember
and it was
that.
all yeah.
It
It
was
was
like
just him playing against himself, and it was great. It was the best.
It was playing off the fact that because the Flash episode, the live action Flash episode with the Trickster had come up,
And
Mark
Hamill
was the Trickster in that,
and his voice in that was the proto version of his Joker.
Yeah,
for Batman
the animated series. Yes,
There's a good episode too where they all get turned into kid versions of themselves and get trapped in the House of Mystery.
Oh, nice.
That was really good.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes me think back to the Justice League Unlimited episode where they all got kidified.
By Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah.
And Jon Stewart said, "Oh yeah, I needed glasses when I was a kid," and then created Kyle Rayner's like big chunky visor
Mask.
over himself. Yeah,
when-
that was cool.
Yeah, when Kyle Rayner first became the Green Lantern.
Which show had an episode where Wonder Woman got turned into a pig?
Justice League Unlimited.
Justice League.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
That was the episode where Cersei forced Batman to sing a club rendition of
a lounge song.
Yeah, some lounge song about I'm so blue without you or something like that.
Yeah.
And it ended with Cersei turning Wonder Woman back into a human, and also Zatanna was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was a good one.
I just love Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Also, speaking of Bruce Timm stuff, did you see they put the Superman cartoon on HBO Max?
Oh,
I
they
saw
did?
that. I've been wanting to go back to that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've been meaning to go back to that.
So anyway, rambling, more news.
Hey, that's fine. We are at our best when we ramble.
This is also true. This is also true.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about comic book stuff. So Keanu Reeves might be starring in a comic book adaptation movie, which is a big surprise, seeing as how he
Created the
comic, and the artist basically is drawing Keanu Reeves as the main character in the comic. The comic Berserker, BRZKR, from Boom Studios, about an immortal murder man who works for the U.S. government to try to find out how to not be immortal so he can finally die, is getting a Netflix adaptation, both live action and animated. Options are for both, with Keanu Reeves being in the starring role and possibly producer role of both of them. I mean, why not? Why not?
If you want to make something and you have the power to do it, do it.
he is at the point in his career where he can pretty much do no wrong, and if he wants to make weird stuff, people are gonna back him no matter what.
Especially,
it's fine.
Right? And he's so hot right now. Like
he's had a real resurgence in his acting career. I would say arguably bigger than his resurgence when he was Neo in the first Matrix movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was popular before then, but he wasn't like huge like he is now.
He wasn't huge until The Matrix, then did a couple of movies and disappeared for a while.
Yeah.
And now he's
they did the Lake
back.
House.
The Lake House and
Dracula.
That it's not Bad News Bears, but it's basically Bad News Bears. Hardball.
Yeah.
I remember watching that one.
He's barely in Dracula.
Yeah.
He's Renfield in Dracula.
He's Johnny Reno in Point Break.
Yeah.
I am an FBI agent.
Is he in Dracula more than I'm thinking? It feels like he wasn't in it a lot.
He's in there quite a bit.
Okay.
I mean, he's not the
He's not Dracula.
No, that's Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
no, and he's not Renfield because that's Tom Waits. He's
That's right.
that's
Harker.
right.
He's
That's
Jonathan
right.
Harker.
Yeah, he's trapped in the
he's there.
castle. He's
Yeah.
trapped in the castle.
Yeah. So he's there a bit, but he has a very bad British accent.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. And it's like trying really hard not to be the, whoa, Keanu.
But he still
He
is.
still is.
Still very much is.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that movie, though. That's a fantastic
Oh, it
movie.
is. Yeah. Dracula's weird armor.
Yeah, his like
weird Egyptian
like
armor.
red muscle armor.
Yeah, his red muscle armor.
Very
yeah.
cool. And his weird like bubble part hair.
That, yeah, when that Mr. Burns uses in that one Treehouse of Horror.
I didn't even realize that was a reference to Dracula until I saw it, like a year ago.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's what that was.
All right, so we have time for just a couple more really super quick ones. What's this thing about Life is Strange?
Oh, there's a new one coming out.
Oh, yeah.
A third one.
Oh, does it have a bunch of disaffected hipster teens in it?
At least one.
Hey.
Then it's a Life is Strange.
So it's a Life is Strange game.
Yeah, it's not by Don't Nod or whatever the company's called.
Okay.
It's by the people who did Before the Storm, the prequel one.
Okay.
Deck 9. And it looks interesting. You play as a disaffected teen who has
Empath powers?
powers. That's the word I couldn't think of. Yeah, she has empath powers. She can feel people's emotions and why they're having those emotions.
That's a lame power. That's like Donna Troy.
It's a good power for a Life is Strange game.
I guess. But I mean, like in the first game, the protagonist had time travel abilities. And the second one, it was like telekinesis. And now you're a Betazoid going, Captain, he seems angry. That's great, Captain Troy, Commander Troy. Counselor Troy. Can you tell me, can you change his mood or read his mind like anyone else from your race? No, I'm lame.
Or, when the times her powers didn't work.
Yeah.
I'm getting nothing from them.
I'm getting nothing. Thanks. You're a big help, Deanna Troy.
I mean, to be fair, she was Next Generation's...
7 of 9.
Well, I was going to say...
Spock?
No.
Since she's fairly attractive.
Exactly. Because every Star Trek series has that one.
Or her...
No, I was going to say Yeoman Rand.
Yeoman Rand really didn't do much, and
Neither did Troy.
She's like in 4 episodes.
She's in more than that.
Yeoman Rand, she's not in very many.
She left after season 1. She's in quite a bit of season 1, and there was an implied will they won't they with Captain Kirk.
Yeah,
that was
the
a
whole
lot of
thing. That was the whole thing.
It was like she was in love with Kirk, and Kirk could have had a happy future with Yeoman Rand. But
Kirk got to be Kirk.
Well, Kirk was the captain, and his first love was the sea,
the Enterprise,
the space, his ship,
space.
Yeah, space. Oh, didn't he turn 90 the other day?
Tim
Shatner?
Curry? Oh, Shatner. Yeah, Shatner did.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Shatner. You're never going to be on this show, but happy birthday.
But every Star Trek series has that one character, Troy, and then
Geordi
Drax.
LaFord.
No, I was trying to think of the Deep Space Nine one. Drax. What was her name?
Dave
It's
Bautista?
Not Dave Bautista.
No.
Jazanda Dax.
Dax.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously 7 of 9, and then that Vulcan girl on Enterprise.
Sure.
It just goes on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
You know, they had to basically like vacuum seal Jerry Ryan in the 7 of 9 outfit.
I've heard that.
Like she had to occasionally lay down on set just to like be able to breathe.
That's
Like it was absurd.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Looks good though.
Yeah. All right, and last bit of news. This is kind of a weird one. Not so much geek culture, but I wanted to bring it up anyway. There is something happening in Taiwan where people are changing their name to the word salmon. So this is a hilarious thing. This is more like a goofy food gimmick.
This is a news of the weird
Food
edition.
So there is a one of the sushi chains over in Taiwan. I think it's like Sushi N or something like that. It's one of those.
That's the sushi restaurant next to the movie.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but it's something. Something like that. And it's one of those that, it's the conveyor belt sushi place. And they were running a promotion where if you were to change your name to include the word salmon, legally, you get all you can eat for one day.
So
and you
stupid.
had to present your legal laminated identification card.
A day.
For a day.
Not even like a year, a day.
Thinking that it was going to be,
No one was going to do it.
Yeah, it was just kind of a couple of free, bites of fish or whatever, and that'd be it. No, over 300 people changed their name legally to
something
salmon, and there have been some that were very just kind of changed their first name to salmon, Salmon Lu or Lao or whatever. Some people got creative. Let me see if I can pull up the some of the names here.
Salmon.
Yeah. We have
My least favorite Digimon.
Yeah. Oh, like someone changed their name to Whirlpool Naruto Salmon. They're getting creative with it. I mean, why not? One person changed their name to have about 7 or 8 different food types in his name, along with the word salmon, in case of future promotions.
That's some big brain thinking right there.
It is.
Hi, my name is now Big Mac McNugget.
Yeah, and they're being colloquially known as the Salmon Gang in Taiwan now. And okay, so you think this is like, oh man, like over here in the States, it's kind of a big deal to get, change of name and things like that. In Taiwan, it costs $3. It's incredibly cheap. So, and all you have to do is just walk in, sign a piece of paper saying, "Hey, I want to be called
Joey Salmon
now," and be done with it. There is a catch. According to their country's government, you can only change your name 3 times. So whatever you change it to the 3rd time is what you're stuck with. And that became that was a surprise to he is currently known as Salmon Dream Chang, who changed his name, a medical student who changed his name, not knowing about the 3-strike rule. So now he is permanently stuck with the name Salmon Dream.
Future Doctor
Salmon Dream Chang. Now, a lawyer looked at his case and did find a loophole. This is kind of interesting. So there is a byline over in Taiwan that you can change your name to something else outside of your 3 that you get if your father is named the exact same thing you are. So can you imagine having to go, a medical student, a future doctor, having to go to your father and say, "Dad, please, you gotta help me. Quick, change your name to Salmon Dream. Please, you got to."
That sounds like the worst Ben and Jerry's flavor.
Salmon dream.
Yeah. I tell you what, if I were that kid's dad, I would be like, no, you must live a salmon dream for a year before I do this.
You have to put him through a boy named Sue situation.
Yes. A boy named Salmon Dream.
Based on a poem by Shel Silverstein.
Yes. So, yeah.
Definitely a fishy situation.
There's a real fishy situation. And the sushi chain, despite all of kind of the negative press, the Taiwanese government is urging people to stop doing this because you're causing so much extra paperwork for our government workers. Please, we beg of you, please stop. It's not worth the sushi. And I mean, I guess there have been people that have been coming in like, 3 square meals. One report said someone came in 15 times in their one day and just basically ate all of the sushi in their one restaurant.
I mean, that's what if I was going to change my name, I'd eat as much of it as possible.
If I hadn't changed my name to something else, if I still had my 3 for $6, because you need $3 to change your name, then $3 to change your name back for like an entire day to just gorge yourself on that stank fish, just
take the day off and just hang out there all day.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. I would do it.
Yeah,
why not? But according to the sushi place, they're like, this was an unmitigated success, and we're trying to decide if the next thing we're going to do will involve tuna or eel.
Get a tattoo.
Hello, my name is Eel Trevino.
All right, and with that, I think we have hit time, so let's go ahead and wrap things up for the day. You have been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at Nerd Overload Now.
You can send us an email, staff@nerdoverload.com. You can give us a call on the Nerd Overload hotline, 586-372-8020. Leave us a message and we might play it on the show.
Yeah, what's your salmon name?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can also find all of our back episodes on various podcast apps such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and more. And finally, I'd like to thank David Pencil for the use of our intro and outro. You can find more of his stuff over at davidpencil.com. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
My salmon name is Salmon Journey Jr.